Cue the music. Cue the notes. Trying to make notes. I'm kind of on a bit of a timetable today. Gotta get ready for work, and I got a few things I gotta do in the interim ahead of that. Oh, I guess that's fine. We straight. Yeah, but okay, so it was just one of those things like my storage cut out, which I don't know, my phone is just filled with like Instagram memes and captions and things. I'm like, oh, yes. I don't do anything with them. It's the same thing as like when I take photos of my food. I'm like, oh, that's so beautiful. I don't post it. Very rarely. I don't. So I've got a lot of stuff on there. I'm even paying for like Apple storage, and I still have managed to utilize it all. So my video cut out on me yesterday, but it really worked out for the best. So then I ended up having a profound rest of my time, like out in the woods and nature. But to finish the digestion, the decompression, the video without the boom, boom, boom going on, you know, and I'll get to that because I feel like I was being, I was pushing myself to speak. Even right now, I'm kind of pushing myself to speak. It's probably not necessary for me to speak like it was the other day. Like, it is very clear to me that I needed to get that stuff out, and in watching the replays, when I could get out of my mind, being a little biznatch, of like, why are you doing this? So this is like, I just felt like it was a video just trying to justify what I'm experiencing. But, and then because that other video cut out, I feel this pressure. I think it's a self-inflicted pressure at this point to finish what I was saying. And we'll see. Like, I literally have a timeline right now. So if it's one of those, like, matters of, all right, Leslie, keep it moving, boo-boo. I mean, yay, me and the Maya worked it out. So it's like, I don't have a choice. Like, I'm getting it out in such and such amount of time. Otherwise, I'll fudge around whatever I'm supposed to do next. I'll try to avoid some other situation, I'm sure. But because I was so easily distracted yesterday. Because I think maybe that wasn't, like, it was the right time for whatever I did, but it wasn't the right time to finish up, I guess. It was the right time to get started. And I'm going to say kudos, Les, for not feeling the pressure, for not succumbing to the pressure to do this talk last night. Like, there was this whole, like, I got ready, I put on my device, I was like, oh, I can't just leave a video where I just cut out in the middle. Yeah, I can. Do whatever I want. I do what I want. I didn't feel like talking the rest of yesterday. After my stint with nature, it was like I was at peace. And again, I'll get into that. But I really just want to go into, just like I said, just some digestion. So I want it to be so clear that I am not a human design analyst. I am merely a student genuinely seeking to be a better version of myself and be in my fullest state, or at least witnessing my fullest state in the role that I'm playing here in the Maya. And I'm experimenting. That's all this is. I'm just giving myself permission to experiment and be okay with that. Now, I have a lot of fear. A lot of that strife that I heard in that video was really coming from, there's a lot of information out there about the deconditioning process being 7 years, validly so. I'm 7 months into my experiment. I recognize that it is not necessarily appropriate for me to be out on such a platform when people are searching for information and trying to learn. I'm not trying to come at this like I'm trying to teach in that regard. Like when I say maybe this will be for mental projectors, maybe this will, that was my mind getting kind of caught up on who might this be for. And it's like, I'm really still getting caught up in the judgment of what is or isn't appropriate for me based on the literature. And it's a system. I get it. I love it. I have mad respect for Ra Uru, Lavina Archers, John Martin, Asiya, Free Your Mind to Shine, Devin Martin. And those are perhaps the people that I resonate the most with right now. But I also recognize and notice that there are a few people out there in the social media world who are teaching, who have good information, but maybe they're not qualified, like legit way, like through the systems way to do what they're doing. And maybe they're just in their experiment and trying things out. Like, so it's like I've dabbled with them. I like some of their stuff here and there, but it's not who I want to legit learn from. Now, I say all that to say that I am not, this experiment is not me coming out as I'm a teacher. I'm literally just trying to experiment and be in my experience, whatever that means. And already I've had a huge breakthrough. Like when I watched that video, I was able to hear how much, and I've recognized this before in conversations like with coaches and things like that. I'm just always like, I don't know, and I know, and I don't know, and I don't know. And it's like, and it's funny, it's like I literally, this was something from before, but I have this sticker here that says, I know that I know. Actually, I think that I keep on my monitor, and that was something from before where it was really more to remind me that the information, whatever I'm seeking, it's already within me. I don't need to like overthink or be searching. Like I know that I know. But, especially after listening, right? Frequency and everything, it's that is the this is a paper with my notes, but this is a little easier. Actually I don't care. Gate, it's so weird doing this backwards. Gate 23 is the voice of I know or I know not. I don't have it. I don't have anything pointing towards it. I mean, like, we all, again, and see, and this is where it's like, it's so weird for me because I want to talk about my experience. I want to talk. I'm 7 months in, man. I'm learning. I'm a student. And this is just my process. I'm just trying to process. But what was very clear to me is, and I'm like looking back and I'm like, I keep saying I don't know, and that's true. I don't know. I'm not here to know. I'm here to believe, I'm here to have or have not. I'm here to lead. I'm here to, I am all over the place. And there's a lot to be said about that, right? So like having done that video and being able to witness just how much I was like, I don't know. I can observe that now and look at it as that is my mind. That is the ajna. That is the conditioning. Like, your openness is your greatest source of learning and wisdom, and that is open. And so when I hear I know or I don't know, that is a lesson to me. That is my mind trying to play a trick. And that's not in a bad way. I mean, in the ajna is where the design crystal lives, the vehicle, right? And I'm gonna have to come back to this because I'm already going over time. No, work that out. But I'm already going over time. But I will link to one of Lavina's videos that I watch over and over and over about the crystals and the magnetic monopole, right? So, personality crystal, the passenger, the design crystal, the vehicle, the magnetic monopole, driver. And then we just out here watching. So, in a way, I'm watching my design sitting here in my defined ajna, unconsciously connected to that manifestation center of the throat, wanting to express. And then all this openness everywhere, picking up everything in my environment. You know, don't think I didn't notice how, well, I shouldn't say don't think, I noticed how after I went through that little chatter breakdown and breakthrough, like it was, I recognize it was a little bit of a breakdown. It was necessary. I mean, I had some crazy moments yesterday. I was like, I literally am out here looking like a crazy bag lady because I need to get out in the sun. And that was before I went to the park. Like, I was just like, oh, this is so beautiful. I gotta get outside. Like, again, that was a body thing pushing me, pulling me towards being out in the energy and nature. I was just gonna take a walk around my complex, and I had like, y'all didn't see my star pants, but I had star pants on. And I had my star pants on and a gray sweater that I had slept in last night, white socks, gray shoes. I was just out there, like, my hair was in this little puffball thing. I didn't put on a visor. I was just like, I'm just gonna take a walk. And I'm like, I look crazy right now. I'm out here walking around like crazy. And I don't want to be here. I want to be in nature. And there are a few spots not too far from me. And I was just like, why don't I just go and do that? So I changed and to not look so crazy. Still kept on the star pants, of course. And then I went out into nature. And I'm jumping a bit ahead of myself, but I'm also looking at the time, and I don't want to let that rule me, but I am, you know, the other aspect of being a mental projector is that it's, and you know, for reflectors too, it's an environmental authority. Environment is very important. In nature has always been a very profoundly moving thing for me. I find a lot of solace in it. I probably drive my mother crazy. Actually, I do. I know she does. She'd be like, so I'll post something, or, you know, and she's just like, on social media, and she's just like, Leslie, I don't like you just out there in the woods or doing whatever all by yourself. And I'm just like, Mom, I know enchant tweet. I'm good. Plus, I really don't believe my body is going to steer me wrong. I believe that much, right? So back to that Ra quote, you know, this fuzziness with the esoteric world. Like, I believe in it in those moments. I believe when I have that calling and that urge to go take a hike or whatever. Like, I'm gonna be okay, you know? And don't get me wrong, there have been moments where I'm like, I might not be okay. But I've never been steered incorrectly. And it's when I'm out in nature that I truly am able to just be, you know, like the sun on my skin. Like, when I tell you the moments that I experienced out there, so, you know, you saw the start of it. I parked, and, well, if you watched that last video, I parked and, I was walking. I've never really been to this park. I drove around the area, and I was like, oh, the day that I went, I was like, oh, you gotta pay $5, and I had no cash on me. So this day I made a point to make sure I had $5 on me. And as I was approaching, I did, like, there were some other spots I saw along the way that you don't have to pay for, like walking paths and stuff. And when I was, like, as I was passing, it's so weird to witness, like, you know, to notice that I had this thought, this urge for my body to go to nature, right? And I was like, oh, I'm going to step outside and walk around the complex, but I knew that wasn't enough. Then I knew I needed to, like, physically drive somewhere. And then there were places along the way that I could have stopped, and that would have been free or whatever, but, like, they were very populated. It was a beautiful day yesterday, and it's looking like it's going to be a beautiful day now too. And I kept going. It seemed so far. It seemed like such a journey. I was like, I don't remember it being this far. And I got there, and there was like nobody there. And it's a natural forest preserve. Was it a forest preserve? National park. For dope things I realized later. But I got there, and, you know, I'm parking, and I just see, like, a huge group of kids walking through. And that's cool. I don't mean, like, children. I mean, like, teenagers. Which, I'm sorry to say, I'm like, oh, I don't want to be, like, harassed, or I don't want to, and bless their hearts, nothing, I don't know, it's, sometimes I feel like things show up to see if you're gonna be scared and retreat, and I was just like, no, I still really need to be out here. So anyways, I parked. I was just like, screw it. And I parked, and I walked on that path, and it was like, there was a road path, obviously, for the rangers and stuff, and I was interrupted several times, and bless their hearts, everybody was so nice, but shortly after, I remember kind of being like, I want to be, like, out on the dirt, like, this isn't my forest preserve. The place I really love, my heart place, is actually in another area of town, which I was supposed to have headed to yesterday to drop off my recycling and stuff, but I didn't want to drive that far. It's you know, it's one of those, like, you save all this recycling to drive all the way out there. It's like, are you doing more harm to the environment by driving? So I like to try to make it when I have a reason to go out there. And yesterday would have been a reason to go to my spot, but obviously I was supposed to go to this other spot. And so there was that moment where I'm just like, oh, this walking and talking thing isn't working, and then boom, there's a bench. And then, you know, when I got up from there, I was walking a little further, and I was just like, actually, I really needed to be in the earth. I need to, like, this is nice and paved and beautiful, but I need to be with the dirt. And then shortly thereafter, there was a path that went into the trails. And I was like, no way, because mind you, this was my first time there. I know how their trails operated. I literally just kind of, every time the roads diverged, I took one path, and that made all the difference. But I, you know, each time I really was, like, standing there, like, do I go here? Do I go there? It's kind of funny to me. So after I was on the earth, and I stood and I grounded, and I'm walking, and I'm listening to Bonobo, who's awesome, and I go, and I'm just like, man, I wish there was some water. I really could use some, like, flowing energy. Shortly thereafter, there was a little spot with this creek and, like, this beautiful little rock that I was just like, oh, I have just wanted to sit on a rock. I've needed to just sit on a rock. So there was a rock, in the water. Like, obviously, if the riverbed were higher, this rock would have been submerged in the water. But at this point in time, it was not. For as much rain as Atlanta has gotten, there's a lot of vegetation, so I suppose it's, we have droughts, so it's probably a reflection of the drought. But in that moment, it worked for me, because I was just like, yes, I just want to sit on this rock. Now, shortly thereafter, this beautiful, and I had a moment, I got emotional, it wasn't even crazy emotion, it was just, I welled up with some tears. I don't know the reason, but it needed to flow, and it flowed by the water, and it was beautiful. And shortly thereafter, there was a woman and her dog, and I came, and the dog looked like a wolf, and very furry, so I'm like, I know it wasn't hot for us humans without thick old layer of hair on us, but I was blocking the way for, that beautiful four-legger to get its water, and we shared a look. It was kind of weird. I don't know, I'm also weird about just running up to, people like, oh, look at your dog, no. I'm weird about that. I love animals, but, I'm not about to just run up on someone's, furry friend like that. And it's like, I don't know, I think it's kind of like the equivalent of when people are like, oh, you're pregnant, and they touch your belly, or, touch someone's belly. I'm just like, well, that's, but then again, I don't like people touching my stuff. I'm kind of weird. I think I'm kind of normal, but that's me. Anyways, I kept on my walk, and then shortly thereafter, and let me just say, it was just really amazing. Let me keep going. Well, how do I tie these two things together? Another thing that I noticed with yesterday, even when I was doing the video, it was almost like there were things in the world that were coming to encourage me to keep moving, right? I am an easily distracted being, and there would be these moments, like when I stopped and went on the bench and was talking. I could have easily gotten stuck there. Who knows how long that video would have went, had my phone not died. But there were all the signs of the, people stopping and talking to me, the whatever was going on. It was like, maybe this isn't video time right now. Maybe this is, your body needed you to be in nature. Why don't you go be in nature? And so I just kind of felt continuously guided. And even when I got there in that moment by the creek, and I was sitting on the rock, and, it was like I was there. I was present. I was feeling so much. But then it was like something happened that encouraged me to move on, And as I continued on my journey, and that's the woman with her dog. And like I said, the dog and I we had a moment. Don't get it twisted. Human design, is really the science of differentiation, but all animals, plants have their design. So it would make sense that we connect. I've always connected with animals. Babies a little bit to a degree. Just, there's something. There's a knowing in the eyes. There's a connection. And so I continued on my journey. Now, remember, my phone was out of storage memory or whatever for doing the video. So as I was walking, I'm still bebopping to, bonobo and listening, looking, da-da-da. And then I realized, as I took this next path, so now I'm past the water in the creek on the dirt trail, and there's these paths, right? And then there's also this sign, make sure you have your water, make sure you have it, but there's no element of how long any of these trails go. There was, actually, but it was I was seeing miles. I didn't know if I was about to go by the mall, which is way far. I didn't know where I was going to go. This was a trust and faith kind of thing. And as I was going, so, I'm at this cross in the roads, and I'm looking. I look down at my phone, and it's 20% battery. And also, everybody and their mama was hitting me up yesterday. It was so weird. Like, so I do think there was a break in the energy. Like I said, I don't think yesterday was supposed to be as beautiful as it was. So I'm not saying I did that, but I took it as a reflection of being in alignment with, you know, going through your storm, and then boom, here's the beautiful day that you get to experience, your reward, you know, for going through your dark night of the soul. And so, like, my phone's going off. I'm just like, good God. And then, I mean, I love it, but I was also like, really? All this time? Sitting here like, nobody's talking to me. And then now everybody wants to talk to me. Now I don't have the energy for it. So as I looked at my phone and realized that I had, like, you know, low power mode was activated, I was like, let me take out Bonobo. And then, but that was another thing where it was just one of those, like, it was almost like, again, the universe, the Maya, like, encouraging me, like, Leslie, you're out here in nature. You don't need to have your headphones in. Listen. Listen to spring coming into action. Witness the birds in their mating and their flirting, and all the little lizards that I saw everywhere, and there were all these, like, little signposts. There was this one that was pretty profound where it was talking about the cycle of life, and, you know, how this critter eats, like, the cycle of life, and how the trees get their energy from it was the cycle of energy, really. It was like how the trees get their energy from the sun. Certain critters eat the berries or the leaves and the insects, and then certain critters eat the insects, and then it was just one of those, and I was like, this is what I'm supposed to be embracing. I'm supposed to be hearing my feet crunch on the ground. I'm supposed to be here observing the little squirrels, you know, jumping and noticing the salamanders and in their early mating season, and the birds flying in their sacred geometrical patterns, the little dinosaurs that they are, and, like, and these ancient trees who've been there for so long. And then this is a national park, like, it's a preserved area, and because I ran out of space, I don't have the picture with the placard of why, but it's like plutonic, tectonic, it's like a huge thing of granite. Don't tell anybody, I'm not supposed to, like, but I got these, like, I'm sure that's tourmaline in there, and quartz, certainly mica, and I like my stones. Just, I don't know, it was really powerful. And then I just felt like everywhere, every time I was in a space, and then, yeah, so I'm just keep walking, and I come to another, you know, fork in the road, and I'm just like, and it would be like, I would wait for a sign. It would, like, you know, either a bird would fly or something would happen. I'd be like, choose this path. And I would choose that path. And then this path, I'll tell you, that's the only sucky thing about running out of, like, I feel like all these pictures and stuff I was taking was like, it's like the best is yet to come. There's all these moments, I'm like, first signs of spring, little flowers blooming, and then I got to the spot, and I did not even know this was here. There was, like, this whole vista, and then I just go up, and you can see Stone Mountain in the distance. Like, the sky was so beautiful and blue yesterday, too. Just, like, the colors were just so amazing. And because I was looking up, these birds were, like, imagine hawks, falcons were flying so high. It was such a thing to experience. And then while I was there, like, embracing this, and then I was having this, like, okay, I'm out of space, but let me do, like, I think I did a quick Instagram or Facebook story. Literally only because I had no room on my phone, I couldn't take a picture. But I did that, and then I was like, ooh, maybe I'll do, you know, an Instagram live. I'll do my first live, and then I can capture this. But shortly after I thought that, this family comes along. And mind you, there's like nobody in this park. So why is it like every time like I would be able to stop and embrace a situation, every time I would stop, it was almost like if I stopped for too long, the universe kind of guided something to keep pushing me along. And I was thinking, I was like, I wonder if that is like this life, right? As a witnesser in this movie, in this, my movie or whatever, and experiencing it, it's like, it's not a struggle. We're easily distracted and like, oh, maybe I could do this, maybe I could do this. But if we just allow the flow, right? It's like, okay, that was cute. Yep, you took a moment, you noticed. Now keep it moving, right? Like, keep it moving. It was just really interesting to notice and to feel. I mean, I didn't really have to overthink that. It was just really a feeling. And then, I don't know, that line too, who just wants to be alone, there would be a part of me that was like, oh my gosh, why is it every single time? But what if I could look at that differently? Not so much like, why is it every time I'm trying to do this? Why won't you leave me alone? But matter is like, why is this? Like, okay, I thought I was trying to do something, but don't try. Trying is what gets us in trouble. It's just do or do not, right? It's like yesterday, kind of back to the digestion thing. It's like yesterday morning, the first thing that I saw on my YouTube was, so after all of that from the night before, it was like this Abraham Hicks video, and it was like in my recommended. It was Abraham Hicks and said, chill and stop trying so hard. And I was like, oh, you got jokes. You got jokes. Because it is. It's like, I don't think these videos are me trying so hard. What I recognized from watching that last video was the trying, was the strife, was like, as I read in that Raw quote, was the mind trying to cling into not allowing me to do what I believe is right in my body. And, I recognize that I'm fearful. I'm fearful of speaking out of turn. I'm fearful of putting it all out there. I'm fearful of judgment. I'm fearful of misleading others. Kind of back to what I was saying at the beginning. This is a very humbling process for me. I mean, I think I sounded maybe a little egotistical up there when I'm like, well, it's in my design to kind of lead. I mean, it is. It's in my voice. It's my personality Mars. It's my South Node unconscious line. But 31, I lead, or I don't. And I don't want to get so caught up in like, I don't know, it's weird. It's like I don't want to get so caught up in who I'm here to serve, or if it's like I really am just trying to do this for me. Like I said, I really gained a lot from watching that last video. And like I feel like I had breakthroughs. Even like I had someone reach out to me, bless her heart. I mean, I'm really grateful that she sent this, but I'm also kind of like, wow, that was out of the blue, right? And she was like, oh, I'm just thinking about you and your channel, and the life force of the channels. The 1156 is searching. So it says, so here we have this force of the search. Now, it's something that is deeply misunderstood by people who have this channel. They end up being seekers. They think they are looking for a thing. They think they are looking for an answer. And they're not. They're data collectors, experience collectors. The moment they understand that, they are not seeking something. They are looking for anything. Anything. Because, in fact, that is their process. It is their responsibility to educate the rest of us and to educate us experientially, which means they have to do it. And there's more to it. I'm not going to go further into that. But it was such a right timing. Like, it was right after I had done that video, and where I'm always, I don't know, what am I doing? Da, da, da. And it's like, you're doing what you're designed to do, Leslie. Like, chill. Stop tripping. And then again, watching the video, I see a clear, like, I see the clinging of the mind versus the body, you know? And in my G center, I have the gate that I have activated attached to that is the 46, which is love for the body. And I know that literally translates into taking care of the body and being healthful and mindful of the body, and teaching others that. But as I was listening to our class about it, I was beginning to wonder too if it couldn't be said about the love for the body, for the design, for teaching us, like, you know, teaching myself even, that, like, the body literally has all the information. And just because I have a lot of openness and I'm picking up other people's information, that doesn't mean that I don't still have my information. I just get it a little differently. I get it when I'm out in a positive environment or feel-good environment. I get it when I'm able to hear my voice express in a certain way. I get it when I hear my frustration and bitterness, or when I hear, you know, my peace and love and happiness. And, you know, for whatever it's worth, like, I'm still struggling with strategy and authority. And the monopoles. I don't want to say struggling, but, like, I'm so, like, I'm just, let me get that, and then I'll really play with all this other stuff. Now, there's this whole thing about the PHS and your tones and the this and the colors and motivation. I'm not even going to try to pretend I know what that's all about. I do know that I've got some 6s going on up in that for my motivation and colors or whatever, and that is innocence. And I can honestly say, looking at those videos, I can also see that I have a genuine, innocent nature. Like, I'm coming at this really sincerely, and, you know, whereas my mind wants to get caught up on, oh, who do you think you are talking about this, or, you know, you better pull back. It's like, this is innocent and genuine enough, you know. I mean this sincerely. I mean this just to be a reflection of my experience. And, you know, everybody is going to have their own experiment. That's the whole deal, you know. We do live in a time where things are afforded to us that are differently than they were before. And if this is a tool to help me, I'm really just interested in being my most authentic self and doing the damn thing. So that's, you know, just take that into consideration. I also think that there's something interesting too about recognizing that the line 2s have to call themselves out. So while my gate 11 activation is unconscious, my 56 activation is conscious. So I can see the disconnect that might come from my mind and my body trying to sort itself out. Honestly, I think that last video was such a great display of that battle, right? Whether I'm right or wrong, about what I'm doing, the battle is real, the struggle is real, you know, and being hip to that. And so I feel like there was this aspect of the line 2 calling me out. Like, when I was reading that thing about the clinging of the projector, clinging and trying to manifest. Like, I struggle with, is this jumping the gun, doing these sorts of videos? Is this, you know, you're not ready? Or it's like, I'm not ready to be a teacher, but I'm ready to talk about my experience. I can do that much. But witnessing that mind-body dialogue. And so as I was watching and listening to myself, it was like, that was my body talking to my mind, saying, like, frustrated with it clinging and not just allowing me to do. So that if it does just all fall apart and crash, so be it, you know? Very interesting thing to witness and observe, I have to say. But yeah, I feel like it was just a calling out. I thought it was cute in hindsight, all of that emphasis on, like, I really just want to go to sleep. I feel like that was also an aspect of that division. Like, it would be so easy to null out, you know? Like, I've been candid before that I've had a history and experience with, you know, drinking and, you know, all sorts of, you know, coping behaviors that have been triggered more recently than not. Nothing like they were before. But triggered enough to the point where I could be like, okay, well, I need to do something because I'm noticing this happening again. And we didn't like that before, so where are we going there now? Which I think was reflected in how I was reaching out so strongly, you know, on the interwebs. It's like I'm recognizing myself going in one way, and that was to avoid this other thing that I'm feeling a push and a call to do. Whether it's appropriate for the world or not, it's appropriate for me. I'm confident in that now. And like I said, when I'm getting my messages, when I'm dancing with the butterflies, when the perfect things are showing up at the perfect time, that's telling me I'm right where I need to be. So, but that's wild. That's radical. That's scary. Like, it is easier to go to sleep. It is easier to just, drink a bottle of wine, or, you know what I mean? To null and zone out. This is what's the challenging part. Experiencing these emotions and feeling what it's like to feel accurate and not allowing these other things to push it back. It's wild. It's a wild trip. And if this is what helps me to not go back to those behaviors, that alone is valuable enough. Sure, I look like a crazy lady. I sound off the wall, and I talk and I talk and I talk. That's healthier than what I was doing before, and might be more valuable to the Maya. Even if no one watches this, maybe this is just the Maya needs this. Just express as it's expressed, and then I free up stuck energy, and now I'm able to be a better employee or be, better human. I don't know. I don't know. I also want to say I didn't want to come off like I was hating on generators. And I'm like, I don't want to be a generator. I don't. Because of the way that I'm designed, I don't understand how they operate and have all that energy. Like, I'm just like, chill out. Which they could say, stop thinking so much. I can understand that too. But there's just this go, go, go that I'm just like, even just witnessing it is overwhelming for me sometimes. Like, how are you still? How? But I don't. Generators are beautiful. Manifesting generators, we're all part of the design, and y'all make up the majority. You're keeping this world going round. Thank you. You know? So I hope that didn't come off like I was being, haterade on the G's, generators, manifesting generators, because there's also the G center, but, that wasn't my intention at all. I was just in it and expressing a whole lot of other things, and that came out maybe kind of like, but that's not really the energy I was trying to put out. Like, generators are dope. Like, I love generators. I love all the types. I love humans. I do. Want to be alone a lot, so just watch them. But I love humans. I'm just saying, it's just rough to sometimes witness or feel their consistent energy. And I think what it is like, it's rough to feel it because I can't match it. Like, and so maybe it's some jelly belly on my side, but it's like overwhelming, and it's taxing. It's just like, I just don't even know. I don't know. And I need to really stop with the no, or what I don't know, because I don't. That's not my voice. I need to stop. But, and then, I mean, just to kind of finish up on the whole, I guess this is the third time, but the boundaries on breaking old contracts. Again, like, I got a little emotional with that because it's hard to break contracts. It's hard, it's, for me, it has been, to be someone who, I think, to be as a projector who's penetrating and feeling the other, and you're recognizing that, someone's wanting something from you that you're not able to give, and you're doing your best, you're really trying, and you spend a lot of time trying to figure out, how can I be more that way? I love them for their sounding board aspect. I love them because they're, my family member, and, I love them for, all these reasons. I love them because they're a kind human being. But as you're developing those boundaries, you understand that, like, for your own health, you can't keep up with their expectations. And so you have to lay boundaries. And if they don't meet them, you have to be okay with being like, well, these are my boundaries, so I gotta go where you gotta go. And that's not easy to do, I genuinely love and think about everyone who, has been in my world. I really do. I think about a lot of people, a lot of the time. And some people would say pray. I just feel love, I reflect on memories, and I enjoy them. I'm not like the kind of person who brings up stories over and over, like, in that regard. But, oh, remember when? And just, no, I just will think about it and remember and feel the moment. But it's sad to let go of contracts, no matter who the person is. Romantic, family, coworker, like, just, as someone, like I said, as someone who does keep people generally at a distance, it hurts when I let people in, and then it's usually me who breaks the contract, right? Like, people have been very close in my life, and I just never talk to them again. That's, I drop the ball. I don't have the willpower, or I feel guilty, or whatever. That's on my end, but now it's like, it's different. It's like a conscious, these are my boundaries, and I'm no longer able to maintain, whether it was a facade on my part, I no longer believe how I believed, or I am no longer the person that I was before, and now this doesn't work for me. And, I gotta deal with that, being selfish. I think that's where the real emotion comes from. Like, I feel guilt about being selfish about that. But at the heart of hearts, I believe even more strongly that that's what we gotta do. So, I think that's the end of my deconditioning no, that's not the end of my deconditioning, are you kidding me? Of like my digestion decompression of the other videos. I'm gonna let this go. This went much longer than I intended. Go fig, Les. Less is more. Less is so more. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see what goes on, what the next thoughts are. But yeah, I will say getting out in nature was dope. And then like in my goddess box, there's this blue apatite stone. Look at this. This looks like the cosmos, right? And what this is work with this stone when setting new goals. It holds an energy for clearing away conflicting thoughts and calls in positivity so you can manifest your highest alignment. Like again, that arrived right after I did that video. It's like all this stuff is here supporting me. My cards, like, just everything. I'm so stoked. So I'm gonna keep doing this and whatever. Yeah. So thanks. Have a great day. Peace, love, all that jazz.